Hey yo, ladies and gentlemen, it's Michael here, doing a quick little commentary, and how are you all doing? That's something that I don't ask, but how are you doing? Because I'm interested in that. I hope you're well, as anyone might, but I, however, am not so well, despite it being my birthday in 4 days. Well, basically, I'm a bit frustrated, and it's not a massive reason. I mean, I guess it's kind of a first world problem, but what really annoys me is, the classic guy's kind of superiority complex. And if you know what I mean, it's kind of like the jockey guys, being like, oh yeah, I'm so good, look at me, I can catch a ball, and that is lately very much frustrating me. And some of you might be like, well, what is he saying? That is awesome, he can catch a ball. But for me, it's not so awesome, because here is the scenario, right? It's probably happened to a lot of you. I know you're all very womenly magnets, if you know what I'm saying. But what happened the other day at school is I was sitting down with like a couple of mates, and we were, not gonna lie, we were surrounded by a bunch of girls, right? Cracking jokes, having a good time. Then, these guys just come in with their footy, right? And they just start kicking it right above our heads, and we're like, well, what are you doing? And they're like, oh yeah, you're so good at football, to each other, and like, oh yeah, thanks man, you're good at footy too. And it's so obvious that because they're not confident enough to come and sit with us, that they're trying to get some other form of attention from the girls by peacocking. And if you don't know what that is, it's like showing off to get attention from the opposite sex. And this just really frustrated me, because it used to happen all the time. The girls would sit behind the fence, and it would be the guy's objective to kick the ball over the fence, so that he'd have to go and get the ball from the girls, and they'd be like, oh, why'd you kick the ball here? And then they'd flirt for like 1 second, and that would be the guy's highlight of the day. Whereas I would just sit with them, and then they would be all fine. But it's so frustrating, because I'm just sitting my lunch, and I'm kind of one of those people. I'm one of those people that just, if you keep touching them and like get in their space, then I'm gonna get really kind of touchy and nervy, and I'm not gonna be very happy. And with a ball flying like right above my head, it did not really put me in a very good position with the ladies, and I just was not having a great time. And I was like, do you not learn from this? Because they've been told off heaps of times for kicking the ball over the fence. And even as I'm saying this to myself, I'm thinking this is the stupidest thing that I've ever said, because this is like preschool kind of stuff, like people in like the 5th grade, may be fine with this. For some reason, when the guy's superiority complex or peacocking comes into play, they are like children. And I'm not saying that I'm completely innocent to this. Like, I'm sure that everyone in some form or some way has a superiority complex, because it's kind of hard not to. Like, in some things, in some field, you're going to be better than someone else. And for instance, it might be sport, music, it might be Call of Duty, or singing, dancing, whatever it may be. You're probably better at someone at something, and even if you don't say it out loud, you probably still think that you're better than someone else at something or other. And it's not unnatural. I mean, it's been going on since like beginning of time, with like one monkey cub thing being like, I'm better than you, monkey cub thing, and like hitting the other one and be like, I'm smarter than you, I'm gonna use tools for the first time. And then that guy, because of his superiority complex, goes on to make mankind. But anyway, it's been happening all throughout history. I'm sure Hitler had the ego of like fucking, I don't know, like a giant person put together with Oprah. So he had a massive superiority complex. Politics probably have a pretty superiority complex. For instance, if you're Australian, Tony Abbott probably has a superiority complex of Hitler, because he's like, hey guys, I reckon Australian Prime Minister should be the one with the biggest dick. And then friggin' Julia Gillard is like, no, Australia's first women Prime Minister for the win. And everyone's like, fuck you, Julia Gillard. Or, in American terms, George Bush is probably like, hey, Sarah Palin, my dick's bigger than yours. Be like, oh, fuck you, George. Anyway, the superiority complex is pissing me off, and after these guys were kicking the footy, all those girls just left. They didn't want to be hit with the football because they hit them time after time, and they'd be like, oh, can I please have the footy? And the girls would be like, yes. And I just felt so bad because I could just feel their vaginas just closing and just not being at all entertained or at all in the mood, so to speak. I was just so mad. I was like to them, do you not learn from your past? And they're like, yeah, but like we're good at footy, so we're gonna like kick it and shit. Yeah. And it just fucked me off, and I'm sure it fucked all my friends off, probably really pissed off the girls, and probably ruined all their chances with them forever. And just to clarify, I think that these guys are usually the ones that aren't that good with girls because they need that attention, and I don't know if it's the Dr. Phil in me, but I think that that's the secret connection, if you get me. So anyway, that's my story. Please tell me what you think. I don't want to be the only one thinking that these guys are fuckheads, and then I'd feel like a fuckhead because I'd think that I'm better than them because of my superiority complex, and I just can't handle it. Anyway, that was my mental breakdown, so I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like and all that jazz. I think I'm running over time, so I'll see you guys later. Maybe, I don't know. See ya.